I want an open marriage.
What?
You can't give me children. Someone else can.
The pregnancy test was positive, but it wasn't her husband's baby, it was his deadliest enemy's. Ivie Anderson stared at the two pink lines, her hands shaking so badly she nearly dropped the test. 24 hours ago, she'd been a broken woman sitting in a hotel bar, drowning in wine after her husband moved his pregnant mistress into their home. Now, she was carrying the child of Korea's most dangerous man, a billionaire mafia boss who just declared war on her husband's entire empire. And the craziest part, she had no idea how she'd gotten here. Let me take you back to where this insanity started. Welcome back, everyone. This story is wild from start to finish, and I promise you, every twist will hit harder than the last. Smash that like button right now, because you're about to witness the most insane revenge story you've ever heard. Let's go. Ivie knew her marriage died the second Kim Kwon smiled. He never smiled anymore. Not at her, not in 5 years. But tonight, he walked into their luxury Seoul apartment at midnight, smelling like another woman's perfume, and he was grinning like he'd just won the lottery. "We need to talk," Kwon said, loosening his tie. Ivie's stomach dropped. Those 4 words. The universal code for your life is about to end. They stood in their penthouse overlooking the Han River, the one his tech empire paid for, the one that was supposed to mean they'd made it. 5 years of marriage. 5 years of trying for the baby his traditional Korean mother demanded. 5 years of fertility treatments that made Ivie hate her own body. 5 years of feeling like a broken machine. "I want an open marriage," Kwon said flatly. The room tilted. "What? You can't give me children. Someone else can." He didn't even look at her. "But I don't want to lose the business advantages of being married to an American. Your passport has value. You don't." The words hit like bullets. Ivie gripped the counter. "You can't be serious." "I need an answer by morning." Kwon headed toward the bedroom. "But honestly, Ivie, what choice do you have? No job, no money, no family here. You're completely dependent on me, so really, this isn't a request." He closed the door. Left her standing there. Alone. The next morning, Ivie found out exactly how disposable she was. Kwon came home at noon, with a woman. Young, beautiful, Korean, everything Ivie wasn't. Park Yuna walked into Ivie's apartment like she already owned it. "This is Secretary Park," Kwon announced casually. "She'll be staying in the guest room. We're expecting." Ivie's vision blurred. "What?" 8 weeks pregnant. Kwon smiled at Yuna with affection he hadn't shown Ivie in years. "I wanted to make sure before I told you. Yuna's having my son." 8 weeks. He'd been planning this for months. "You're moving your pregnant mistress into my home." "Our home," Kwon corrected. "And yes, it's practical. Yuna needs to be close during the pregnancy." Ivie couldn't breathe. "I didn't agree to this." "Your silence yesterday was agreement enough." He turned to Yuna. "Let me show you your room." They walked away. Left Ivie standing in her own living room. A ghost in her own life. That night, Ivie packed one bag and ran. She couldn't stay, couldn't watch her husband play house with his pregnant secretary, couldn't pretend this was anything other than the complete destruction of everything she'd believed in. She checked into the Shilla Hotel and went straight to the bar. The bar was packed with Seoul's elite. Ivie sat in the corner, ordered wine, and tried not to fall apart in public. "Rough night." The voice came from beside her, deep, male, dangerous. Ivie looked up and forgot how to breathe. The man was devastating. Late 30s, Korean, handsome in that sharp, lethal way that screamed danger. Expensive suit tailored to perfection. Dark eyes that saw everything. Black hair styled back from a face that could have been carved from stone. He looked like he owned the world. And knew it. "Rough life," Ivie managed. The man smiled slightly. "May I?" Ivie shrugged. "Free country." He sat, ordered whiskey, didn't speak for a moment, just existed beside her with this dangerous calm that should have been awkward but wasn't. "I'm Yi," he finally said. "Ivie," American. That obvious. You don't look like you belong in a hotel bar at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night, drinking away something that's eating you alive. Maybe it was the wine. Maybe it was the way he looked at her like she actually mattered. Maybe she'd just been holding everything in so long she'd explode if she didn't let it out. Ivie told him everything. The open marriage, the pregnant mistress moving in, 5 years of feeling worthless because her body wouldn't cooperate, giving up her career to support a man who'd thrown her away the second she stopped being useful. Yi listened, didn't interrupt, didn't offer empty platitudes. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Then, what if you could destroy him? Ivie laughed bitterly. How? He holds all the cards. Not all of them. Yi leaned closer. The space between them felt electric. What if I told you I could help? Make him understand you're not some desperate wife he can discard. Let me be your boyfriend. Fake, obviously. We go to events together. Make sure Kwon sees us. Make sure everyone sees us. And watch him lose his mind. Ivie's heart pounded. Why would you do that? Revenge on a business rival who's been a thorn in my side for years. Yi's eyes were intense. Watching Kim Kwon realize he made the biggest mistake of his life, and his gaze traveled over her face slowly. The chance to spend time with a beautiful woman who deserves far better than what she's been given. This was insane. But when Ivie looked into Yi's eyes, she saw something that had been missing from her life for 5 years. Possibility. What would I have to do? Show up, look incredible. Let me treat you the way you should have been treated, and watch your husband realize he's the biggest fool in Seoul. Yi extended his hand. Deal. Ivie looked at his scarred knuckles, those dangerous fingers. Thought about Kwon and Yuna in her apartment. 5 years of feeling worthless. The tan line on her finger where her wedding ring used to be. And the way Yi looked at her, like she was something valuable instead of something broken. Deal, Ivie said, placing her hand in his. Yi's fingers closed around hers, warm, strong. Something passed between them that felt like a promise. Or a threat. Or both. One more thing, Yi said, not releasing her hand. I should tell you I saw you before tonight. What? 6 months ago, business gala at the Lot Hotel, you wore a blue dress. Your husband ignored you the entire night. You stood by the bar looking like you wanted to disappear. His thumb brushed her knuckles. I wanted to talk to you then, tell you that you deserved better, but you were married and I don't cross that line. Ivie's breath caught. You remember what I wore. I remember everything about that night. His smile was devastating. The way you held your champagne glass like a shield, the way you smiled even though your eyes were sad, the way your husband touched your back once, exactly once, and it looked like an obligation instead of affection. Heat spread through Ivie's body. I've wanted to talk to you for 6 months, Yi said quietly. Your husband just gave me an excuse to stop being honorable about it. This is still just fake, Ivie said, but her voice sounded uncertain even to her. Yi's smile was slow, dangerous. We'll see. He released her hand. Ivie felt the loss like a physical thing. Tomorrow night, charity gala, art auction, very high profile. Yi pulled out his phone. Kwon will be there, so will we. What's your number? Ivie gave it, her hand still tingling where he'd touched her. Yi sent a text immediately. Now you have mine. I'll send details tomorrow. He stood, placed bills on the bar far more than necessary. And Ivie, wear something that makes you feel powerful, because that's what you are, whether you believe it yet or not. He walked away, moving through the bar with presence that made people unconsciously step aside. Even the way he walked was dangerous. Ivie sat there long after he left, heart pounding. She'd just agreed to fake date her husband's business rival to make him jealous. This was insane. This was reckless. This was exactly what she needed. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Sleep well, Ivie. Tomorrow we start the war. Ivie saved the number under Yi and finished her wine. For the first time in 5 years, she was smiling. The next morning, Ivie woke to her phone blaring. Yi's voice, Movers will be at your apartment at noon. I'm getting you out of that hotel. You need a power base, not a temporary room, and a dress is coming. Trust me. Yi, I can't let you. I'm not buying, Ivie. I'm lending. One of my properties. Consider it part of our arrangement. Kwon needs to see you're not desperate. He was right. Being nice had gotten her an open marriage and a mistress in her guest room. Being strategic might actually get her dignity back. Okay, send me the address. The penthouse was in Hanamdong, the kind of neighborhood where Korean celebrities and old money lived, where a one-bedroom cost what most people made in a decade. The movers arrived at Kwon's apartment while he was at work. Ivie supervised as they packed her clothes, her design equipment, her personal items, everything that was hers and only hers. She didn't take anything Kwon had bought. She left her wedding ring on the kitchen counter. No note. Just disappeared. Kwon called within an hour. 6 times in 30 minutes. She finally answered. Where the hell are you? Kwon's voice was furious. I came home and all your stuff is gone. I moved out. To where? You don't have money for a place. I have friends helping me. That's all you need to know. Friends? What friends? You don't have friends in Seoul. Whose fault is that, Kwon? You moved me here and kept me isolated for 5 years. But things change. People change. I'm done being your convenient wife. Ivie, you can't just leave without. The way you discussed moving your mistress into my home. Ivie's voice was ice. I don't owe you explanations. We're in an open marriage, remember? I'm living my life now. You live yours. This is about Yuna, isn't it? Ivie, you don't have a job. You don't have income. You'll come crawling back in a week. Don't count on it. She hung up, blocked his number, and felt powerful for the first time in years. At 4 p.m., the stylist arrived. Her name was Min Seo. She came with assistants, garment bags, and a makeup kit that looked like it cost more than Ivie's first car. Mr. Yi sent me, Min Seo said with a knowing smile. He wants you unforgettable tonight. For 3 hours, Ivie was transformed. The dress was red, deep crimson, the color of wine and revenge. It hugged every curve with a neckline that was elegant, but showed enough skin to be devastating. Her natural hair, the hair Kwon's mother had always criticized, was styled big and beautiful, framing her face like a crown. Her makeup highlighted her brown skin, made her eyes huge, her lips full and dangerous. When Min Seo stepped back, even SHE looked impressed. Mr. Yi is going to lose his mind. Which one? Ivie asked. Yi or Kwon? Min Seo smiled. Both. The car arrived at 7, a Bentley, with a driver who opened the door without a word. Yi was waiting in the back seat. He wore a tuxedo that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary. His hair was perfectly styled. His expression was unreadable. Until he saw her. His eyes widened. Something that looked like hunger crossed his face. You look incredible, he said, voice rough. Thank you. Kwon's going to have a stroke when he sees you, Yi smiled, sharp as a knife. Perfect. The gala was at the Lot Hotel. Red carpet, photographers, Korea's elite competing to see who looked more important. Yi's hand settled on Ivie's lower back as they walked toward the entrance. Warm, possessive. Smile, he murmured. Show them you're untouchable. Ivie smiled. And she meant it. The cameras, FLASHED, as they walked the red carpet together. Photographers shouting questions in Korean. Mr. Yi, who is your date? Is this a new relationship? What's her name? Yi ignored all of them, his attention focused entirely on Ivie. Like she was the only person who mattered. They entered the ballroom. Ivie's eyes immediately found Kwon. He stood with Yuna near the bar, both dressed formally, talking to potential investors. Then he looked up. Saw Ivie. His face went white. His eyes traveled from her face to the dress to Yi's hand on her back. His expression shifted from shock to fury in seconds. Yuna noticed his reaction, followed his gaze, her smile faltered. Yi steered Ivie toward the champagne fountain. "Let him come to you," Yi said quietly. "Don't give him satisfaction." "I don't need to," Ivie admitted. "I feel powerful." "Good, because you are." They took champagne, stood together, just existing as a couple who belonged. And Kwon couldn't take his eyes off them. Ivie watched him make excuses to Yuna. Watched him start moving toward them with fury in his eyes. "Here he comes," Ivie murmured. "Let him," Yi said calmly. Kwon arrived like a storm. "Ivie, we need to talk, now." Yi turned slowly. "I don't think we've been properly introduced. Jae Hwang." He extended his hand. Kwon ignored it. "I know exactly who you are, Hwang. Ivie, what the hell are you doing here with him?" "Having a wonderful evening," Ivie said sweetly. "Why?" "You're my wife. In an open marriage, which means I can see whoever I want, just like you're seeing Yuna." Ivie sipped her champagne. "Or did you think the rules only applied to you?" Kwon's face redded. "That's completely different." "How?" Yi asked, tone mild. "Please explain." "Stay out of this, Hwang." "Actually," Ivie said, stepping closer to Yi, "Yi is very much in this. He's been incredibly supportive." Yi's arm slid around her waist, possessive, protective. The claim was clear. Kwon looked like he wanted to throw a punch. "You're making a scene. People are staring." Ivie laughed. "You wanted an open marriage. You moved your pregnant secretary into my home. You've been cheating for 6 months. Now I'm dating someone else. That's how this works, Kwon. Or did you think I'd just sit home while you played house with Yuna?" His face burned. "You're doing this to hurt me." "No," Ivie said coldly. "I'm doing this because I deserve better than a husband who sees me as disposable. Yi sees me as valuable. There's a difference." Yuna appeared at Kwon's elbow, looking uncomfortable. "Kwon, maybe we should." "Not now," he snapped at her. "We're leaving," Kwon said, grabbing Yuna's arm. "But this isn't over, Ivie." "Yes," Ivie said quietly, "it is." She turned her back on him. Leaned into Yi's warmth. Didn't watch him leave. For the first time in 5 years, Kim Kwon didn't matter anymore. The rest of the gala passed in a blur. Yi introduced Ivie to everyone, business associates, investors, Seoul's elite. Everyone was curious. Who was this woman on Yi Hwang's arm? Yi's answer was always the same. "This is Ivie, she's incredible, and yes, she's with me." Simple, definitive, no room for speculation. In the car afterward, Yi looked at her. "You did well tonight." "I didn't do anything except stand there." "You stood next to me and made your husband lose his mind. That's more than nothing." His expression softened. "How do you feel?" "Like I've been holding my breath for 5 years and can finally exhale." "Good, because tomorrow things escalate." Ivie blinked. "What do you mean?" Yi showed her his phone. Photos from the gala were already online. Her and Yi on the red carpet, together at the champagne fountain. Kwon's face when he saw them. The photos were everywhere. Society blogs, gossip sites, business news outlets trying to figure out why Yi Hwang was suddenly dating an unknown American woman. "This is spreading," Yi said. "By tomorrow, everyone in Seoul's business community will know that Kim Kwon's wife is dating his biggest competitor. His investors will ask questions. His business partners will wonder about conflicts of interest. His mother will lose her mind." Ivie's stomach sank. His mother, oh God. "Don't worry about her. Worry about yourself, about building your own life." Yi shifted to face her. "Speaking of which, I want to offer you a job." "What?" "You're a graphic designer. You gave it up to support Kwon's career. I need a creative director for Hwang Industries' branding division. The pay is excellent. The work is challenging. And it'll give you financial independence, so you're not relying on anyone ever again." "Yi, I can't just take a job because." "Why not? You're qualified. I need someone. This is business, Ivie, not charity." His eyes were serious. I'm not rescuing you, I'm investing in you. There's a difference. Ivie thought about it. A job, her own money, her own career again. Not dependent on Kwon, not dependent on Yi. Just herself. Okay, she said, I'll take it. Yi smiled. Good, you start Monday. The car pulled up to her building. Yi walked her to the lobby, his hand on her lower back again. At the elevator, he stopped. Ivie, I need to ask you something. What? This thing between us, the fake relationship. How far are you willing to take it? Her heart pounded. What do you mean? I mean public events, yes. Photos, yes. But what about when we're alone, when no one's watching? I don't understand. I'm attracted to you, Yi said bluntly. I have been since I saw you 6 months ago. This started as business, a way to hurt Kwon and help you. But it's becoming something else, at least for me. Ivie couldn't breathe. I'm not asking for anything tonight, Yi continued. I'm just being honest, so you know where I stand. This can stay fake if that's what you need. But if you ever want it to be real, he stepped closer. I'm here. Then he was gone, leaving Ivie standing in the lobby with her heart racing. She rode the elevator up, collapsed on the couch, pulled out her phone. The photos were everywhere. Her and Yi looking like they belonged together. And in one photo's background, barely visible but definitely there, Kwon watching them with devastation on his face. Ivie should have felt victorious. Instead, she felt confused. Because Yi's words kept echoing. If you ever want it to be real, I'm here. Did she want it to be real? Could she trust her feelings when everything was tangled in revenge and hurt? She didn't know. But she knew one thing. Jae Hwang was dangerous. Not because he was using her, but because she was starting to want him to. Monday morning, Ivie walked into Hwang Industries wearing a designer suit Yi's assistant had sent. The building was massive, glass and steel, modern and intimidating. Yi's assistant met her, a sharp woman named Sarah who looked like she could destroy you with efficiency. Miss Anderson, welcome. Mr. Hwang is expecting you. They took a private elevator to the top floor. Yi's office was enormous, floor-to-ceiling windows with Seoul city views, expensive furniture, artwork worth millions. Yi stood by the windows on his phone, speaking rapid Korean. He saw her, held up one finger. Wait. Ivie waited, trying not to stare at how good he looked in a suit. He ended the call, turned to her. Ivie, you look ready to conquer the world. I look terrified. Same thing, he gestured to the conference table. Sit, let's talk about your role. For the next hour, Yi outlined what he needed. Rebranding for major properties, design work for presentations, creative direction for campaigns. It was overwhelming. It was also exactly what Ivie needed. I'll give you a team, Yi said. 3 designers, a copywriter, a project manager. You lead them. Show me what you can do. And if I fail? But if you do, you learn and try again. That's how this works. He leaned back. I don't invest in people I think will fail, Ivie. I invest in people I know will succeed if given the right opportunity. Why are you doing this, really? Because you're talented and wasted that talent supporting someone who didn't appreciate it. Because I need good people. He met her eyes. And because I like seeing you powerful. It suits you. Heat spread through her chest. His phone buzzed. His expression hardened. What? Ivie asked. Kwon just called an emergency board meeting. He's accusing me of industrial espionage and conflict of interest because I'm dating his wife. Oh God, Yi, I'm so. Don't be, this is exactly what I wanted. He's panicking, making mistakes, showing his investors he's distracted and irrational. Meanwhile, I'm calm, professional, and dating a brilliant woman who makes me look good. Who do you think wins that fight? Yi stood. I have to deal with this. Sarah will show you to your office. We'll have dinner tonight. 8, I'll pick you up. Yay. He paused. Thank you, for everything. His expression softened. Thank you for trusting me. He crossed the room in 3 strides. Leaned in. Ivie thought he was going to kiss her. He kissed her forehead instead. Soft, gentle. A shiver shot down her spine. Then he was gone. Over the next 3 weeks, Ivie's life transformed completely. She threw herself into work. Her team stopped seeing her as a trophy hire and started seeing her as someone who actually knew what she was doing. The Riverside development branding she created got approved by investors. Yi gave her an even bigger project, rebranding Jae Hwang Industries entirely. She moved through Seoul with confidence now. Designer clothes Yi insisted on buying. Expensive dinners where people recognized her as Jae Hwang's girlfriend. Charity events where photographers shouted her name. Everywhere they went, people whispered, "That's Kim Kwon's ex-wife. She's with Jae Hwang now. That's bold. She looks completely different, happy. Kwon must be losing his mind." They were right. Kwon was losing his mind. He left increasingly desperate voicemails. "Ivie, we need to talk. This thing with Jae Hwang needs to stop. You're embarrassing both of us. My mother is having a breakdown because of you. The investors are asking questions. You're hurting my business. End it with Jae Hwang and come home. We can fix this." Ivie deleted every message without listening fully. She didn't care anymore. Yuna was another story. The secretary had been so confident at first, smug about winning Kwon, about moving into Ivie's home, about being the woman who'd give him a child. But 3 weeks later, she still wasn't showing, still looked worried, still flinched when Kwon snapped at her. Ivie knew this because Kwon's assistant Sunhai, who'd always been kind, started texting updates. Yuna took another test today, negative. She cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Doctor appointment. Kwon looked furious after. Ivie should have felt satisfaction. Instead, she felt nothing. Their problems weren't her concern anymore. But Yi's business warfare with Kwon. That was escalating beautifully. Every deal Kwon wanted, Yi got. Every investor Kwon courted, Yi charmed away. Every property Kwon tried to develop, Yi outbid. It was systematic, ruthless, devastating. And Kwon knew exactly why. "He's using you," Kwon screamed one day, ambushing Ivie outside Jae Hwang Industries. "Jae Hwang doesn't care about you. He's just using you to destroy my business." Ivie looked at her ex-husband. Hair disheveled, eyes wild, suit wrinkled like he'd slept in it. He looked pathetic. "Even if that were true," Ivie said calmly, "being used by Yi is still better than being married to you. At least he treats me like I matter." Kwon's jaw clenched. "You're making a mistake." "No, marrying you was the mistake. This is me fixing it." She walked away. Kwon didn't follow. Couldn't follow. Because Yi had APPRD. His presence alone enough to make Kwon back down. "Problem?" Yi asked, voice dangerously quiet. "No problem," Ivie said, "just taking out the trash." Yi's hand settled on her back, warm, possessive. Ivie glanced back, saw Kwon watching with impotent rage. So she did the unthinkable. She leaned in close to Yi and crashed her lips onto his. His lips were soft, too soft. Ivie felt her body shiver with aching desire she hadn't felt in years. That night, Yi took Ivie to his actual home for the first time. A traditional hanok house in Bukshan, modernized inside but maintaining classic Korean architecture outside. Private, secluded, beautiful. "This is where you live?" Ivie asked, looking around at the minimalist interior, expensive art, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a private garden. "This is home," Yi confirmed. "I wanted to show you, wanted you to see the real me, not just the business persona." They had dinner his housekeeper prepared, traditional Korean food that was incredible. They drank wine, talked about work, about life, about everything and nothing. Then Yi said something that changed everything. I need to tell you something about Kwon. Ivie set down her glass. What about him? I had my people dig into his medical records. I know that's invasive, but I needed leverage. Yi paused. Kwon has a genetic condition, low sperm motility, diagnosed when he was 28, 2 years before he met you. His doctors told him he'd likely never father children naturally. The odds are less than 5% without significant intervention. The words hit like physical blows. What? He knew, Yi said. Before he married you, before you spent 5 years thinking your body was broken, before his mother spent 5 years telling you that you were defective, he knew the entire time that he was the problem, not you. Ivie couldn't breathe. That's not possible. The doctors tested us both. His mother paid them to lie. I have the bank transfers. She bribed the fertility specialists to tell you the problem was unexplained, that it was bad luck. Anything except the truth, that her precious son couldn't father children. Rage exploded through Ivie's chest. Hot, blinding, all-consuming. 5 years. 5 years of thinking she was broken. 5 years of hormone shots, and invasive procedures, and monthly heartbreak. 5 years of being treated like she was defective. And it was KWON all along. That's why he wanted the open marriage, Ivie said, voice shaking. Not just to cheat. He wanted Yuna to have a baby so he could claim it was his, so no one would ever know he was infertile. Exactly, Yi nodded. But Yuna's not getting pregnant either, because the problem is KWON, not the women he sleeps with. Ivie stood, packing, hands shaking with fury. I need to tell people. I need everyone to know what he did. You will, but strategically. We don't just expose him, we destroy him completely, in a way he can't recover from. Ya stood, moved toward her. Ava, look at me. She did. I know you're angry, you have every right to be, but channel that anger into something productive. We use this information to end him, his business, his reputation, everything. And then you walk away free with your dignity intact and his world in ASHES. Okay, Ava took a shaky breath. Okay. Good, because I have a plan. The plan was brilliant. Ya had connections everywhere, including at Seoul's largest fertility clinic. He arranged for Ava to get tested, comprehensive screening, everything. The results came back 2 weeks later. Ava was perfectly fertile, no issues whatsoever. The doctors confirmed she could conceive naturally without any problems. Ya had the report sealed and certified by 3 independent specialists. Then he leaked it. Not to the press directly, that would be too obvious. Instead, he let it slip during a private investor dinner. Mentioned casually that his girlfriend had recently gotten medical confirmation that she was perfectly healthy and capable of having children. The implication was clear. The problem had always been Kwon. The rumors spread like wildfire. Within days, everyone was talking. Did you hear? Kim Kwon's ex-wife is fertile, so the problem was KWON all along. His mother blamed that poor woman for 5 years when it was her son's fault. No wonder he wanted an open marriage. He needed someone else to give him a child because he can't. And Yuna still isn't pregnant after 3 months. Poor girl probably thinks she's defective when really she's just with the wrong man. Kwon's business suffered immediately. Investors started pulling out. Traditional Korean families didn't want to partner with a man who couldn't produce HEIRS. It was old-fashioned, sexist, and completely devastating. His mother called Ava 19 times in one day, screaming about family honor. Ava blocked her. Kwon showed up at Uchwing Industries, completely unhinged. Security stopped him in the lobby, but Ava could hear him screaming from the elevator. Ivie, you're destroying my life. Is this what you wanted? Ya appeared at her office door. Do you want me to handle this? No, Ava said. I'll handle it. She went down to the lobby where Kwon was being restrained, face red, eyes wild. You wanted to talk, Ava said coldly. Talk. You told everyone I'm infertile. I didn't tell anyone anything. I got tested to confirm I'm healthy. The conclusions people drew are their own. You know what you did. You destroyed my reputation. My business is falling apart. My mother won't speak to me. My investors think I'm damaged goods. Good, Ava smiled. Now you know how I felt for 5 years while you and your mother convinced me I was broken. While you cheated and blamed it on my inability to have children. While you manipulated me into an open marriage so you could legitimize your affair without admitting you were infertile all along. Kwon's face crumbled. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I made mistakes. But this, Ava, this is too far. Please, I'm begging you, call off Uchweng. Tell people you were wrong, something, anything. She looked at him, really looked at him. Saw the man who'd spent 5 years destroying her self-worth. No, she said. Ivie. You took 5 years of my life. You made me hate myself. You threw me away like garbage the moment I agreed to your sick plan. And now you're upset there are consequences? She stepped closer. This is what you deserve, Kwon, all of it. And I'm going to watch you lose everything the way I did. She turned to security. He's not allowed in this building again, ever. If he shows up, call the police. She walked away, leaving Kwon screaming her name. And she didn't look back. That night, Ya took her to the Han River. They sat on a bench, watching lights reflect on water, not talking. Finally, Ya spoke. How do you feel? Angry, sad, all of it at once. Ava leaned against his shoulder. He wrapped his arm around her. Thank you for helping me, for showing me I wasn't broken. You were never broken, just married to the wrong man. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Ava felt it. A wave of nausea that came out of nowhere, sudden, overwhelming. She pulled away, hand flying to her mouth. I think I'm going to be sick. What, are you okay? Ava stood, moved away, tried to breathe through the nausea. It passed after a minute, leaving her shaky and confused. Sorry, she said. I don't know what that was, maybe bad food. But even as she said it, a thought occurred. Nausea, exhaustion. Her period was late, 2 weeks late. No. It couldn't be. Could it? Yeah, she said slowly. When was the last time when did we? His expression shifted, understanding dawning. 3 weeks ago, after the investor dinner, we'd had too much wine and we didn't use protection, Ava finished. They stared at each other. You don't think, Ya started. I need to take a test. They went to a pharmacy, bought 3 different tests, went back to Ava's penthouse. Ava locked herself in the bathroom, hands shaking as she took all 3 tests. Then she WITD. 3 minutes felt like 3 hours. When she looked down, all 3 showed the same result. Positive. 2 pink lines. Pregnant. Ava's legs gave out. She sat on the bathroom floor, staring at the tests, mind completely blank. A knock on the door. Ava, what does it say? She opened the door. Ya saw her face, saw the tests, and went very still. I'm pregnant, Ava whispered. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Ya knelt in front of her, hands framing her face. Is it mine? Yes, she blinked. Kwon and I haven't. We haven't been together in months, even before the open marriage. It's yours. Ya closed his eyes. When he opened them, Ava saw something she'd never seen before. Fear. I know this wasn't planned, Ava said quickly. I don't expect anything from you. This fake relationship was never supposed to be real. I don't want you to feel trapped. Ava stopped talking. She stopped. This thing between us stopped being fake for me weeks ago. Maybe it was never really fake. His hands were still on her face. I'm in love with you, completely, terrifyingly. And if you're pregnant with my child, that's not a trap. It's a gift. Ava's eyes filled with tears. Yeah. I know it's fast. I know this is complicated. I know you're still healing. But I need you to know I want this. I want you. I want this baby, if you do. I don't know what I want, Ava admitted. I'm scared. I spent 5 years trying to get pregnant and failing. And now that I am, it's with someone I've known for a month in a relationship that started as revenge. Then let's make it real. Not fake, not revenge, real. His eyes searched hers. You and me and this baby, a real family, if you want that. Ava looked at him. This man who'd appeared at her lowest point, who'd helped her find her strength, who'd shown her she was valuable when everyone else treated her like she was worthless. I want that, she whispered. I'm terrified, but I want that. Jag kissed her. Not the polite kiss of a fake boyfriend. The desperate, hungry kiss of a man who'd been holding back and finally didn't have to. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Ya pressed his forehead to hers. We're doing this, he said. For real this time. For real, Ava agreed. And for the first time in 5 years, she felt genuinely, completely happy. The next morning, Ava woke in Ya's arms in his Henuk house. They'd driven there after the pregnancy test, talking until dawn about what this meant, what they wanted, how they'd handle it. Ya wanted to tell everyone immediately. Ava wanted to wait until the first trimester was over. Too many things could go wrong. They compromised. 8 weeks. Then they'd announce both the pregnancy and their real relationship. But first, Ava needed to do something. I want to divorce Kwon before we tell anyone, she told Ya over breakfast. I don't want him claiming the baby is his. I don't want any connection to him anymore. Agreed. I'll have my lawyers draw up papers. The divorce will cite irreconcilable differences and his affair with Yuna. Clean break. No alimony either way. He'll fight it. Let him try. We have documentation of his affair, photos, text messages, and we have his mother's bribe to the fertility doctors. If he fights, we release that publicly. Criminal charges for medical fraud. His mother could go to prison. You're scary when you're strategic, Ava said. I'm motivated. No one hurts you and gets away with it. The divorce papers were served that afternoon. Kwon called immediately, hysterical. You can't divorce me. We're still in an open marriage. You agreed. I agreed because you manipulated me. The marriage is over, Kwon. Sign the papers. I won't. I'll fight this. I'll make it so ugly. Then I'll release the evidence that your mother bribed fertility doctors to lie to me for 5 years. Medical fraud, criminal charges. Your mother could go to prison. Your family's reputation would be destroyed. Is that what you want? Silence. You wouldn't, Kwon said, but he sounded uncertain. Try me. Sign the papers or I bury your entire family. 3 days later, signed divorce papers arrived at Ye's office. Kwon had given up. Ivie Anderson was finally free. 8 weeks later, Ivie stood in front of a mirror wearing the most beautiful dress she'd ever seen. Not white, she'd worn white for Kwon. That had been a lie. This dress was champagne gold, flowing and elegant, showing the small bump of her 12-week pregnancy. You look like a queen, Ye's sister said from behind her. Me son had flown in from London for the wedding. I feel like I'm dreaming, Ivie admitted. You're not. This is real. My brother is head over heels in love with you. This is your happy ending. The wedding was small, just family and close friends. No press, no spectacle. Just Ivie and Ye, and the people who mattered. Ye waited at the end of the aisle, wearing a traditional Korean hanbok in black and gold. He looked like a prince. When Ivie reached him, his eyes were wet. You're beautiful, he whispered. You're not so bad yourself. They exchanged vows, not traditional ones, words they'd written themselves. Ivie, I promise to see you always, to value you, to remind you every day that you're powerful and brilliant and worthy of everything good, to love you and our child with everything I have, to build a life based on truth instead of lies. You showed me what real partnership looks like, and I will spend the rest of my life proving you made the right choice. Ye, I promise to trust you even when it's scary, to be your partner, not your possession, to build a family based on love instead of obligation. You showed me I was strong when I'd forgotten. You gave me back my power when I thought it was gone. You loved me when I was broken and stayed when I healed. I choose you every day for the rest of my life." They kissed as husband and wife. And in the front row, Ivie saw Kwon's mother who'd somehow gotten in. She was crying, not happy tears, tears of rage and loss. Because her son had lost everything: his wife, his business, his reputation. And now Ivie was marrying his biggest enemy and carrying Jae Hwang's child. The ultimate revenge. Ivie caught her eye and smiled, then turned away. Because Kwon's mother didn't matter anymore. None of them did. Ivie had won. Completely, finally, forever. 5 years later, Ivie walked into Hwang Industries with her daughter on her hip. Grace was 4 years old with Yee's dark eyes and Ivie's brown skin, and a personality that was pure mischief. "Mama, why we here?" Grace asked in a mixture of English and Korean. "Because Daddy has a meeting and you wanted to see him." They took the elevator to the top floor. Yee's assistant smiled and waved them through. Yee was on a conference call, but the moment he saw them, his entire expression softened. He held up one finger, "Wait," then finished quickly. Grace ran to him. Yee scooped her up, kissing her cheeks while she giggled. "How are my girls?" he asked. "Good. Grace wanted to bring you lunch." Ivie held up the bag from his favorite restaurant. "You're the best," Yee said, kissing her while Grace made exaggerated gagging sounds. They laughed, ate lunch together while Grace drew pictures of the family. Her, Mama, Daddy, and the baby in Mama's belly. Ivie was 6 months pregnant with their second child, a boy this time. After lunch, Ivie's phone buzzed. A news alert. Former tech CEO Kim Kwon arrested for fraud. She clicked the article. Kwon had been caught embezzling from investors to cover his failing business. Now he faced criminal charges. Yuna had left him 2 years ago when the money ran out. His mother had disowed him. He was alone, broke, and about to go to prison. Ivie should have felt satisfaction. Instead, she felt nothing. Kwon was her past, a painful chapter that had led her to something better. Yee noticed her expression. "What is it?" Kwon got arrested, fraud charges. Yee looked at the article, then at Ivie. "How do you feel?" "I feel like he doesn't matter anymore, like that whole part of my life was just set up for this." She gestured to their daughter, to Yee, to her life. "The real story started when I met you." Yee pulled her close, careful of her pregnant belly. "I love you." "I love you too." Grace tugged on Yee's sleeve. "Daddy, can we get ice cream?" "Absolutely. Let's close this office and take my girls for ice cream." They left together, a family, while Seoul's skyline glittered outside. Ivie had started as a broken woman in a hotel bar, drinking wine and crying over a marriage that destroyed her. She'd ended as a successful creative director, happily married to a man who actually valued her, with one child and another on the way. Kwon had tried to take everything from her. Instead, he'd pushed her toward the life she was always meant to have. And that was the sweetest revenge of all. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the universe pushing you toward something better. Kwon's betrayal didn't break Ivie. It freed her to find someone who actually valued her. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Would you agree to an open marriage to save your relationship? Where are you watching from? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.